This is John Brown with Collected Development. First off, before going into ripping old vintage card packs or talking endlessly about Star Wars or why 1992 X-Men was the best, I just wanted to say hello and introduce myself a little bit. I grew up mostly in the 80s and early 90s, and I love to collect certain things. Sometimes in a more esoteric way, not always collecting the whole set or just parts that I liked. I've always had an eclectic type of collection. And I hope you enjoy seeing and listening to me talk about these things I collect. And hopefully, this can be an open forum to showing your collection to me and others and why you collect it. Thank you so much for watching this far and tuning in. I really appreciate it. I don't get on camera a lot. I'm not used to it, so bear with me. When I do show my collection to non-collectors, I often get the question, why do you collect so many different things? Like most of us collectors, I've always been a collector, even from an early age. I really think it's a personality type because a lot of people just don't get it. Like my wife. Love you. She's over. I think collectors are more phenomenological people, meaning I think we're more nostalgic or find more meaningfulness in certain objects, their place in history, or how a collection or object makes us feel or remember a specific time. Really, there's so many explanations, but those are some of the good ones, I think. For me, probably started with Star Wars toys. They had the movie cards. They had really endless branded products with Star Wars on it. I mean, I had the pencil case, the toys, the pens, the toothbrush, the collector glasses. It was everywhere. Thanks, George Lucas. He's over there. And then continued with other pop culture phenomenons like Garfield, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, Mask, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was there. There were just a lot of things coming out when I was growing up that are still around today, and you can even still get the toys at the toy store. I didn't know this growing up, but there is a reason. The government used to watch out what was marketed to kids more. But starting in 1980, there was an instituted deregulation of advertising to children. This allowed companies to market as much as they wanted to children, leading to this explosion of new toys, new cartoons. Sometimes the toys and the cartoons tied into each other. There was junk food, fast food, and breakfast cereals with logos and characters on them again. And that's just to name a few. Good or bad, I was caught in the middle of growing up at that time. That said, I also had some old school hobbies because I was always curious about how things were put together, like model cars or Legos. When a new Lego playset came out, I usually wanted it, especially if it had anything to do with castles or knights or pirates. I would build it perfectly from the axonometric picture directions, and then I would just tear it down and build something else because that's what you did back then. So I got into sports cards around 1987 when everybody else did, and they were just exploding everywhere. And I was heavy into cards until 1993 when the market just got so oversaturated with different brands. The baseball strike was looming, and I started high school, so my taste just changed. Around that time, I got more into music and film and art, which brought me into the world of comic books, drawings, and records. Funny enough, when I started high school, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian like Louis Anderson or Eddie Murphy, but you have to be funny, so that dream just died. But the Legos, the art, and the comic books got me into architecture, which is what I still do today. That's enough for now. John Brown with Collected Development, signing off. Collect what you love, be interesting to yourself.